And here she comes. Here comes Miss Lulu.
Today must be the most beautiful day I have lived. Waves are coming in, but I am sitting still. There ain't nothing I want for. I got everything that I need. So my conclusion is, it's the most beautiful day that I ever lived. This special morning is the most fabulous morning to see.
Hello. So this is my first live this year. First live this year. And I have to say, this time last year, do you want to sit on my lap, darling? Do you want to sit on Mummy's lap? I'm just going to wag my tail at you. I have to say, this time last year, I went through a complete mental breakdown from the 23rd of December. My mum had died in the October, and I realise now that, hey, lovely, Happy New Year to you as well, my beautiful. I hope you had a good New Year's and are starting off in the fashion which you are going to continue. Oh, Miss Loopy Loo. So, yeah, this time last year, I realised I hadn't given myself time to grieve with my mum dying. And I just tried to carry on. Hey, Russ, how you doing? Happy New Year. I just tried to carry on, regardless, carry on and keep busy. And so December the 23rd last year, I broke down. I broke down in tears. And I spent pretty much 2 weeks in tears. So I was still kind of dealing with that when all this shit kicked off this year. I think it was March the 22nd, which would have been her birthday, that we went into lockdown and it all kind of kicked off. So I know we've all had a lot to deal with this year. You know, we've all had like the most horrendous year, the most challenging year in various different ways, you know. And I'm not saying I'm the only one at all, because I know so many people have struggled. I've heard of people taking their own life and just horrible things. But I will get to the point in a second. I've also dealt with this year the death of my pony, Armani, who was in my life for 22 years. Now, he was like my child, and I grieved and still grieve for him as I would a human family member. I've also gone through the breakdown of my marriage, which are kind of like three of the most stressful, challenging things you could go through, all on top of the shit we're going through. The reason I'm telling you this is because I know if I hadn't done the work on myself that I have done and continue to do, I would be in a mess right now. I would not be sat here smiling. I would not be functioning, probably. I would have completely fallen apart. But because of the work that I've done, I mean, you can call it self-development, self-awareness, whatever you want to call it, because of the work I've done, because I've learned how my mind works and how routines and things that I can kind of set my mindset. Doesn't mean I don't have bad days, but I can get myself out of it easier. I'm more self-aware, and so that I can make conscious choices. Like when me and my husband split up, yes, there was a part of me that wanted to lash out and say hurtful things and be a complete bitch, but there was also that self-awareness there that I could consciously decide that that's not how I wanted to be, not who I wanted to be. So because of all the work that I've done, I'm more able to most of the time respond to situations instead of react to them. When we react, it's kind of more of a emotional, instinctive thing that we often regret later. And that's why I'm so passionate about mindset and stuff like that. Hey, beautiful girl, how you doing, my lovely? It's why I'm so passionate about what I share, because I know how beneficial it is. I know if I hadn't done all the work I've done, I would be a complete fuck up mess right this minute. Absolutely. And if you want a brief rundown of my life story, I've suffered from depression from the age of 14. I've overcome that. I used to self-harm. I had a 15-year-long eating disorder. I've been through sexual abuse. I had zero self-esteem and wouldn't have even been on camera at one time. I was a heroin addict. So, I've gone through quite a bit of shit. And I know that I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for all the stuff I've been through. But I also know that the work I've done on myself has given me the strength and the tools to navigate what has been a horrendously stressful situation on top of a horrendously stressful situation. I mean, with the stuff going on with the coronavirus and us not knowing what's happening one day to the next, I don't even want to wonder how I would be if I hadn't done the work on myself. I'd be a complete mess. In fact, I don't know if I'd still be here. And I'm speaking honestly, I don't know if I would have the strength. I can totally understand people taking their own life, because when you feel like there's no way out and you feel like you just can't face another day, and it's horrible. It's a horrible place to be. And I know I would be in that place if I hadn't done the work on myself. Which is why I'm so passionate about teaching others. You know, when people say, oh, you're so brave, you're so courageous, you're so this, that, and the other, I've had to work to be this way, okay? I used to be your atypical glass half empty person. That was me. Oh, could get worse. I was not always this way. I've learned to be this way, and I still have bad days. I woke up yesterday in a shitty mood. I don't know why. And then I looked at the cards that I'd drawn for myself. Pulled out for myself. And that really rammed home to me how important it is to be so aware of what we put into our mind. Because it's like food, you know, the effect food has on our body, what we listen to, what we read, what we focus on, has an amazing effect on our well-being, our emotional well-being, and our physical well-being. And things like reading the news, watching the news, listening to gossip, that kind of thing is like junk food for your mind. It really is not good. I know some people feel like they need to know what's going on in the world, but my question is always, why? Why do you need to know? It's just, no one ever came off watching the news feeling like, yes, the world is great, full of opportunities. It just doesn't happen. So I don't do it. But yeah, it's so important what we put into our mind. But so I thought I'd come up with 7 days, 7 little tips, easy things that you can do to help you make changes in your life. Because the thing is, if we want life to change, if we want life to get better, we need to change. You know, I speak to so many people and they're just like settling. They're not necessarily unhappy, but they're not waking up each day full of excitement or full of like, yes, what is today going to bring? And the truth is that it is possible to have a life where you are waking up in the morning going, great, what are we going to do today? What's today going to bring me? And that's how we should be living. But most of us are just like, oh yeah, another day, and it doesn't have to be that way. But if we want life to change, it starts with us. It starts with the person looking in the mirror. Now, you don't have to make your New Year's resolutions. Any time of year can be a day one. And I know so many people, they make New Year's resolutions, usually on the stroke of midnight, and then they give up within a month and they think, oh, well, that's it. Might as well just give up, might as well quit. So you can make changes anytime, but I know a lot of people, they see a new year as kind of like a fresh start to maybe implement new things. The thing is, a lot of New Year's resolutions are mostly about lifestyle changes and usually about giving stuff up. So usually along the lines of losing weight, getting fitter, stopping smoking, stopping drinking, those kind of things. So I want to kind of change it around a little bit so that, because when we think of giving something up, we're like little children. You know, if you say you can't have that, what's the thing we want more than anything? We want the thing that we said we can't have. So instead of taking away, how about making positive intentions as to what you can give to yourself? Because here's the kind of paradox. The kinder you are to yourself, the more likely you are to want to take better care of yourself. It's like people who want to lose weight and they're like, oh, I'll love myself when I've lost weight, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, we don't treat the things we dislike with love and respect, do we? You know, if we don't like something, we don't tend to treat it with love and respect. Whereas if we turn it around and start to love ourselves now, or even if love's too much, to start with, and take better care of ourselves, then we are more likely to do the things that will help us reach our optimum weight. But when we make weight the goal, it's a win-lose situation. Whereas if you try and focus on what can I give to myself to make me feel good about myself, Because the other thing is, when you're feeling shit about yourself, you're more, and I know because I've been there, you're more likely to go off and stuff your face with chocolate or drink alcohol or drugs or that kind of thing. You're more likely to go and do the behaviors that bring about the results that you don't want. Hey, Nicola, how you doing, my lovely? So does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So instead of, even if there are habits that you want to cut out, even if you do want to lose weight or anything like that, put those aside for the minute. Forget about those for the minute. And focus on setting positive intentions. So some of mine were, for example, I will treat myself with kindness and compassion. Because let's face it, we are normally our own biggest critic and our own greatest bully. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure the things that you say to yourself, I bet you wouldn't say to your friends. So as a rule of thumb, if you wouldn't say it to your friend, don't think it to yourself. But don't make yourself wrong, just catch yourself. So that's one of my positive intentions. I would treat myself with kindness and compassion. It could be something like, I will nurture and nourish my body. Because the thing is, when you set a win-lose goal, when you say you want to give up alcohol or this, that, and the other, when you have a slip, and let's face it, most of us do. When I came off heroin, I relapsed God knows how many times. But if you're doing really well and then you have a drink, you might think, oh, that's it, I might as well just give up and just go back to being alcoholic. That's it, blah, blah, blah. Whereas if you focus on how you want to feel and being kind to yourself, then you're more likely to say, okay, that's a slip up. I'm human. It doesn't matter. I can carry back on. I haven't failed. I haven't failed. It's okay. So you could say, I will believe in myself. That's one of mine. I will believe in myself 100%. That's one of my positive intentions. I will maintain healthy, loving relationships because I am a bit shit when it comes to staying in touch with my brothers and sisters, for example. And if there's one thing I've learned, and we all learn it, unfortunately, is that you never truly appreciate what you've got until you haven't got it anymore. And I know there's so many things I wish I'd said to Mum. I wish I'd spent more time with her and that kind of stuff. And I can't go back. So one of my positive resolutions is to make more of an effort to keep in touch with my siblings because it's so easy to let things slide. Another one is laugh often. Laugh often and seize every opportunity. So those are some of my positive resolutions, positive intentions, and they're about giving to myself. So seizing every opportunity, whatever opportunity comes my way, I'm going to seize it. You could also do, I've got what I call my daily resolutions, and I put the resolutions, so soul, S-O-U-L, and these are things kind of like rules to live by, if you like. And you can write your own, but I'm going to share mine. Number one of mine is there is only now. There is only now. Because how often do we wait for the right time or wait for the best time or not feel ready to do blah, 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 or we say we'll do it later. And I've noticed recently how often I say, oh, I'll do that later, or I can't be bothered. There is only now. We don't even know if you'll still be here in an hour's time. There is only now. Now is the only moment that matters. So if there's something you want to do or need to do it now. Do it now. There is only now. I've noticed how often I do that. I say, oh, I'll do that later. I'll do that later. I'll put that away later. And now I'm like, no, now. Do it now. Do it now. Because we're always putting stuff off. There may not be a later. Second one of my daily resolutions is the only thing I can change is myself. The only thing I can change is myself. We cannot change other people. We cannot make other people different. We cannot control other people's behavior or how they react to or around us. And I see so many people, and it's more women, but some men do it, but more women who go into relationships hoping they can change the man because they have an idea of what they want the man to be like and they want to change the man. The only thing you can change, the only thing you can control is yourself. Simple as that. You cannot control how other people react. Remember, offense can only be taken, not given. So if you say something and someone gets upset about it, not your business. My third one is speak only that which I want to be true. Now this can be as simple as me saying, oh, I feel tired. I don't want to feel tired because when I say I'm tired, I'm giving an instruction to my brain. So I will say, I feel full of energy, or I'm feeling more energetic. Only speak that which you want to be true. It's kind of like self-explanatory, really. If you want something, speak it. Don't say, I can't do XYZ, or this won't happen, or I'm not good enough. Speak what you want to be the truth. Number 4 on my list is practice makes progress, because there is no such thing as perfect. Doesn't exist. Even if you were to get a those compass things and draw a perfect circle, it will have micro little anomalies. And what is perfect to one person is not perfect to another. Perfection does not exist. And most people who are perfectionists are actually very insecure. And you can use perfectionism as an excuse. Say you want to do something. Oh, it's not good enough yet. I've got to work on it a little bit. It can be used as an excuse. Always aim for excellence. Aim for excellence. And this ties in with my next one, which is accept my present best. And my present best is what I can do this moment in time with the knowledge, the information, the skills, the energy, the emotional capacity, the fears, the worries, the beliefs, the hurts that I have this moment in time. Because I was always one for doing a class or something and thinking, oh, I wasn't as good as I was last week, or I can do better, or blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. There is only now. Remember, there is only now. And when we remind ourselves that we always do our best, and it's our best at that moment in time. Yes, we may have done better the week before, but maybe we weren't so tired. Maybe we weren't so stressed. Maybe we didn't have a tight shoulder or something. Accept your present best. The best you can do this moment in time. Number 6 on my list is time is valuable. Invest it wisely. Because here's the thing. We think we spend money, but we don't. When we pay for something, it's circulated. It's not in our hands anymore, but it's circulated. What we do spend and what we can't get back is time. Time. So invest it wisely. How much time, maybe not during this coronavirus thing, but how much time previously had you invested in things that didn't bring you joy, that you were doing because you thought you should do, that you were doing because you thought someone else wanted you to do? Things that just, that aren't that important to you. I've changed my priorities so much over the years, and things like housework and stuff like that are way down on my list, because I know if I was to die tomorrow, I would not be sat there thinking, fuck, I wish I cleaned the house. I'd be like, I'm so glad I took that time and spent it with my fur babies. Focus on the things that bring you joy. Time is valuable. Invest it wisely. Number 7 on my list is inner peace is more important than being right. I used to be a really argumentative person. If I believed I was right, I would want to have the last word. But the thing is, when you're speaking with someone else who they believe they're right, you can't change their mind. They can't change yours. And you just end up having a big argument. And what's the point? What is the point? At the end of the day, what is the point? Being at peace with yourself is far more important. Here's Flumpelstiltskin. Than being right. And when you own your truth, and when you become more self-aware and you realize that your truth is your truth, it's like that thing that was around the other year, is this dress green or is it blue, whatever it was. We all see things differently. So what is true and right for me will be totally different for someone else. So why waste my time and energy arguing? There's been loads of times I've seen a post on Facebook and I've gone to, oh, that's wrong, I'm going to get it. And I thought, why am I bothering? Why is it important? Why is it important that I put my point of view across? Because they're passionate about their point of view. So I stop and just, let it go. I have friends that we have vastly different opinions on a lot of things, politics and coronavirus and all sorts. And I am now able to say, do you know what? I don't believe the same as you, but it's okay. It's absolutely okay. I can still be your friend and we believe different things. It's okay because I want to be at peace. Number 8 on my list, and this has really changed my life recently, especially at the minute, is nothing is inherently good or bad, positive or negative. It just is. And with all this, we're in lockdown, we're at lockdown, we're in this, we're in that, the ability to just accept it and not get stressed or upset or worried has been a real life changer. It has, if I was to say that the most life-changing tip I've had recently, it's that. It's been making the decision to not judge anything. And it also made me realize how often we judge. I mean, I was trying to get an earring in, and I was getting myself annoyed because I was like, oh, for Christ's sake, this is hard work. And it's like, no, it's not. You're judging. And I just was able to calm and just carry on and do it. But we judge even little things. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, this is difficult. Oh, this is blah, blah, blah. No, it just is. It just is, because I can't change anything. I can't change whether we're in lockdown or not. Me getting stressed, anxious, worried, angry changes nothing. Inner peace is far more important than being right. The last one on my list, or the one I've got here, is identify the problem and research the solution. Because mostly when we have a problem, the solution is right there. But when we focus just on the problem, we don't see it. Or when we just get stressed and we can't see the wood for the trees. Know that you always have the solution. Even if you can't think of it right now, you always have all the knowledge, all the skills that you need will come to you. But when you're busy going, for fuck's sake, you won't see it. The third thing that I think is a really good idea for you to do, because people love lists. I used to write to-do lists all the time, and mine seemed to be elastic. I don't know about yours, but it seemed to be elasticated. It just seemed to get longer and longer and longer, and you just feel overwhelmed and feel like a failure because you focus on the things that you don't get done instead of the things that you do get done. So I would advise for you to make a to-don't list or a to-not-do list. And some of those things, one of them on mine is no comparison. No comparison. No comparing myself with other people. Because when I compare myself with others, I always convince myself that everyone else is better than me, more intelligent than me, more successful than me, knows more than me, speaks better than me, blah, 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 blah. And the truth is that there is only one me. And I'm not here to be better than anyone else. No one else is here to be better than me. And especially if we're all working for the same goal, if I'm looking at fellow coaches and fellow teachers and healers, does it matter if we do things slightly differently? We're all here to try and raise the vibrations of people on earth. So there is no comparison, because if we were all the same, one of us would be unnecessary, or there don't need to be one of us on this whole earth. So that's on my list. No comparison, no negative self-talk. So this is on your to-don't list, to not do. Use the word failure. So put that on your to-don't list. Remove the word failure from your vocabulary. Have you ever seen or heard like a 3, 4, 5-year-old kid use the word failure? They don't. It's an adult word. Worry about what other people may think. Put that on your to not do list. How much time do we waste worrying what people might think of us? And the ironic thing is, we forget that they're doing the same. They're probably worrying what you think of them. And that's the irony. So put that on your to not do list. Waste time on things that don't really matter. Put that on your to not do list. Like ironing handkerchiefs. Really not important unless it sends you into fits of ecstasy. But, I hear women moan sometimes about how much they have to do, and I start to feel sympathetic. And then they tell me about how they starch their handkerchiefs and iron pants and stuff like that. And my sympathy just flies out the window as soon as I hear that. Because I'm like, no, you've made your own bed. Get no sympathy from me. Also on your to not do list, you could put be afraid to take risks. So don't be too afraid to take list. Being a people pleaser, put that on your to don't list. You are not here to please other people. You are not here to make anyone else happy. Can I say that again? You are not here on this earth to please other people or to make other people happy. End of story. Neglect self-care. Put that on your to not do list. Worrying about things I cannot change. Put that on your to not do list. judging yourself. How often do we judge and compare ourselves? Put that on your to not do list. Also, having unrealistic expectations. How often do we have like massively unrealistic expectations? You know, we want to get things perfect the first time. And again, if you listened a minute ago, you know there's no such thing as perfect. Or we just expect everything to miraculously work straight away. And if we don't, we think we've failed. So you can add your own. I'd love to hear your ideas. What could you put on your to don't list, your to not do list? Let me know, and go away and write it. Do write it. Get some paper. Write your positive intentions. What are you going to give to yourself? Write some daily resolutions, rules that you can live by, like mine. There is only now. The only thing I can change is myself. And make a to don't list and stick these on your fridge so that you can see them every day. And remember also, going back to practice makes progress. We will slip back into old habits. You will slip back into judging yourself and comparing yourself. That's okay, because awareness is key. As soon as you notice yourself doing it, that's why I want you to have your list on the fridge or somewhere you can see it. As soon as you notice yourself do things like that, just say, I'm not doing that anymore. Perfect. And be nice to yourself. Cool. Right, guys, I shall see you all tomorrow. And also, when you've done your list, take a little snapshot and pop it down in the comments so I can see it. It doesn't matter if I can read it or not, but I just want to know you've done it, because it'll be something for you to refer to throughout the year. Because remember, every day can be day one. If you've made a resolution or you want to make a change and you haven't started, or you've fallen off the wagon already, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You've got a whole another 360 something days to get it done. And I'm here every step of the way. So I shall see you tomorrow. And tomorrow also we start resolutions, which is 5 days. I'm going to start some of it actually on my profile so more of you can see it. And that will also help you start the new year off on a positive vibe. And also, if you've been seeking change, if you've been feeling a bit bored and unfulfilled and you want to really make a difference to the world around you, it's for you. So enjoy the rest of your day, beautiful, beautiful souls. I love you, and I shall see you all very soon. Mwah.